Welcome, everybody. As Fernandez likes to say, good morning to Spurs fans and Spurs fans only.
Wasn't that a wild game? I mean, I was watching the game, and I was seeing that the Spurs were struggling, trying to guard the wing.
Yeah.
The Jazz were just it seemed like they were knocking down threes at will, and that was kind of keeping them in the game. You know that, and it seemed like some of the length at times of the players kind of bothered the Spurs, but the Spurs, they did very well getting their defensive stops and kind of being able to knock down some clutch points. It was a really good game for the young Spur team.
I had never been so emotionally invested in a summer league game than I was last night. Chica got one hell of a massage because I was massaging her back while watching the game in bed.
Yeah.
And I was just like
getting all the knots out.
Yeah.
Look, it's Fernandez is in the house. Look what he says. Fernandez says, "Good morning to Spurs fans. The Spurs fans only." Mike stole that one from you, Rick.
I did.
We also got a new intro that we're going to be unveiling here today.
I've never seen it. I never heard it. You texted it to me yesterday, and I thought to myself, you know what? Everyone was raving about it. I don't want to see it until the show happens.
Yeah. So we're going to retire the panda because everybody knows they can go ahead and, they want to tip us. They can do that with the super chats. It's kind of we don't need to be telling them that anymore, so I'm kind of moving away from that. They know how to do it. Buenos dias, Tex-Mex Frank. Thank you all for joining us. Tony Ornales, Sith, July 26th. Jonathan Perez, Fernandez joining us all the way from Las Vegas. Thank you all for joining. All right, Mike.
Area 210, where the dreams don't fade. From the river walk nights to the Alamo shade. We rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210, oh, it's the life that we chose.
And there you go. That's the new intro.
Very nice. Very nice. Take a bow, Joe.
There you go.
My name is Mike Jimenez. That is Joe Garcia. This is the Area 210 podcast. It's a great day to be a Spurs fan. I had never been so emotionally invested in a summer league game like I was last night as the Spurs summer league took on the Utah Jazz. Okay, first of all, not the Utah Jazz summer league, because when you saw Kyle Filipowski out there, when you saw Isaiah Collier out there, Joe, they played their varsity squad basically against our summer league team. Spurs go out and win 93-91 in dramatic fashion. Riley Minix with a 20-foot walk-off jumper. Turnaround. Dude, that was a difficult shot, man. He nailed it for the game winner. Just 2 or 3 minutes after I was flicking off the TV because Kyle Filipowski dunking all over Carter Bryant and screaming, "This is my house! This is my house!" He was saying something different, right?
He was a little bit. He was embellishing a little bit more.
My MF in house, right? And I was like, my God, Kyle Filipowski, who, by the way, is a Duke Blue Devil.
Yeah. You wanted me to show the sequence that happened?
Yeah, courtesy of ESPN and Hulu last night.
5 seconds.
All right.
Nowhere to go. Filipowski driving.
The dunk on Carter Bryant. Carter Bryant could not guard him. I know that was help defense, but seeing him go off and the game winner, Riley Minix, turnaround jumper from the corner, nothing but net. Dylan Harper there to greet him. I like Harper's reaction to all this. He was excited, man. He was super excited. Our number 2 overall draft pick, excited for the Spurs to win that game in overtime, 93-91. Had it gone into double overtime, it would have been sudden death. First bucket wins. Yeah. But Riley Minix put it away.
Did you see what happened here?
Kyle Filipowski, by the way, a Duke Blue Devil. Why is it they're the most hateful people of all time, Joe? Going back to Christian Laettner and Shane Battier and Bobby Hurley. And, dude, if you just come from Duke, unless your name is Grant Hill, you're a hateful person.
You're ready to play. You're ready to play, man.
Let's see this. What did you want to point out, Joe?
Look at what happened at the top of the key, right? You see a mismatch already there on defense. This brother out here just on the wing looking.
Yeah.
And you can see there's no help defense. He draws in the 2 defenders here. There's a free lane to the rim, and that's exactly what he does. He just rolls out, gets the ball. No one comes in to help. Carter Bryant's late. Slam dunk. That's just miscommunication on defense.
It was miscommunication.
That was a bad sequence.
It was a bad sequence, but Filipowski had been just killing the Spurs all
Oh
night
yeah,
long, man. He
35
was
points.
35 points. He was either knocking down threes, making dunks, or shooting free throws, dude, just on repeat. As much as I would like to say that Carter Bryant can guard multiple positions, he couldn't guard Filipowski yesterday. Filipowski was too tall. Filipowski coming in at 6'11", power forward / center. Carter Bryant on that particular play was the backup D. He was a second in rotation there. But even when they was guarding them 1-on-1, Carter Bryant was getting used and abused the entire time. And it's a height difference, man. That's basically it. The Spurs did not have the size to battle up with Filipowski, and he went off. The thing about it, though, is that the Spurs in this game, it was very, very odd to see the way that they played because they had been very consistent the last few games at the Summer League, leaving California, going to Las Vegas. And there were a lot of runs yesterday. The Spurs at one point on a 17-0 run. Spurs up 7 with 2 minutes to go. They lose that lead, tie the game, send it to overtime, get behind, come back. It was an exciting game. I did not think the Spurs were going to pull that one out, man.
I
When the
didn't
Spurs
either,
lost
man.
that lead in the fourth quarter, I was like, man, this is all looking like Filipowski's
Right.
gonna
The
just gonna
Jazz.
blow up.
It felt like the Jazz were gonna steal it from the Spurs.
Well, I
right?
mean, you have NBA players there. You have Filipowski, who's a very
Yeah.
good NBA player, averaged 9.5 points per game last year, 6.5 rebounds. As a rookie, he was supposed to be a lottery player. I mean, the people who were doing the announcing were saying he should have been around 15 to 20, 14 to 20 in the draft. Fell to the second round. Has something to prove. Isaiah Collier, who also fell in the draft last year, still picked in the first round, though. They played their good players out there. And the Spurs are trotting out there, Dylan Harper, the number 2 overall pick in the draft, who struggled in the first half but kept it going. 10 points in the fourth quarter. He shot through the woes, showed some promise there. Carter Bryant struggled yet again shooting. The Spurs should have lost that game, but they pulled it out.
Yeah.
They pulled it out.
And
Let's hear from Riley Minix, man.
Well, I was
Riley
gonna show
Minix.
this real quick
Yeah.
here. Just the sequence that we had here of Dylan Harper kind of like sending the game into OT. That was a good play, man.
The drive in, it's funny because a lot of people were giving him crap on social media last night because, he had an off shooting night. I don't have any issues with what Dylan Harper did yesterday. Dylan
He played
Harper
good.
doesn't have the legs yet because Dylan Harper hasn't been in game time situations for about 3 or 4 months. He played college ball, got knocked out of the tournament. He didn't get into the final into the NCAA tournament, but he got knocked out of his conference tournament. Hadn't played for 3 or 4 months. He doesn't have the legs in him. He has the burst to get past the defender, but to finish the layup, having some difficulty with that right now. Okay, that's all. I like the burst, man. I'm excited about the burst. He's getting in front of his man. He's getting past his man. He'll get there, dude. His legs will get stronger. He'll be able to finish those drives. That's an easy fix, man. That's an easy fix. Carter Bryant, though, we have a poll on MJ Acquired Taste on Twitter asking the question, how worried are you about his shooting? Dude, he is 8 for 40 in the Summer League. That's 20%.
Ouch.
He is 16% from 3. He can't shoot worth a damn in the Summer League. How worried are you about this? We'll get into that. We're also going to talk about David Jones Garcia, who went off again last night, 28 points. Joe, I'll tell you this much, man. The fact that he's able to do this off the bench, there are some players who need to start, right?
Yeah.
If they're not starting, they're not playing well off the bench, right? They struggle when they're on the second unit. He's coming out and showing that he can ball as a starter in the Summer League. He can ball as a 6-man as well. Very interesting development when it comes to that. We're going to hear from the Spurs Summer League head coach later on in the show about that. Mike Neu is about that.
Yeah.
But before we get into all that, we're also going to talk about the Bleacher Report's top 100.
Oh yeah.
Several Spurs listed. They do this annually where they rank the 100 greatest NBA players of all time. Several Spurs made the list, both legends and those who just had a cup of coffee with the team as well. We'll get into that list as well. Interesting thing about it, though, Joe, I have for years said that the number 11 player in NBA history was Kobe Bryant. Everyone and their mama thinks that Kobe Bryant is a top 5 player of all time. I've always said, man, I don't even think he's 11. I don't even think he's 10. I
Jeez.
think he's like 9, 10, 11, right around there. Bleacher Report has him at number 11, fair or foul, because who they have at number 10, Steph Curry. Is Steph Curry greater than Kobe Bryant? We'll get into that as well. So lots to get into. Also, I want to talk about the movies. Last night, I was watching a movie, while I was working.
Yeah.
And this was before the Spurs game. I stumbled upon the Alamo,
Which version?
the one with Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh God, dude. Why?
I don't know, man. I don't think I had ever seen it. So I stumbled upon it. And I texted Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Kent's 5. I'll be on Locked On Spurs tomorrow. I told him, I said, yeah, I'm watching the Alamo and I'm cheering for Santa Ana right now. And he's like, tweet that.
Yeah, of
He's
course.
trying to goad me into getting roasted last night. That was kind of funny.
Hey,
But
we
we'll
do
get
have
into that
a
as well.
we do have an incoming super chat here from Jason Garcia. Appreciate you, Jason.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
So Jason Garcia is saying, "Can I get a grito for the necios of FTC? The 2-0 Alliance." He goes, "Too ethnic for Mike." So
Let's
guess
hear
he
it,
wants
baby.
to go ahead and get the grito.
Can we get the doggy one?
Yeah.
The dog?
We'll put that one on.
Nice.
He wasn't specific about which
Yeah.
one he wanted. So we're gonna go with the newer one.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
Very nice. Riley Minix, the big winner last night for the Spurs, knocking down a 20-footer to win the game. A turnaround jumper. The degree of difficulty was really high on that shot.
It was.
Spurs providing some interviews after the game. This is on Jeff G. Spurs Zone on Twitter. Riley Minix talking about how that play developed because it wasn't for him. He wasn't the first option. He wasn't the second option. Let's hear from Riley Minix.
We drew up a play. I was saying it on the court. First look was for Carter for a lob. Second look for Dylan coming off a pin down. And I told Harrison before the play, I was like, if it's too crowded, nothing's open, find me in the corner, I'll get open. And it was a little crowded, nothing was open, and he found me, and I put a shot up, and it went in. So game winner, probably my early years in my NAI. It's been a while, but nah, it's good. It was fun to be a part of that, and just the enjoyment that this team has had throughout this journey. It's been a blessing to be a part of. So for me, I don't really look back too much.
Yeah, we
But
keep on.
Yeah.
to be here in this moment, to be with these guys, enjoying Summer League for the NBA, like I'm just blessed to be a part of each and every step of the way, and I'm just trying to stay in the moment and enjoy it, be with my teammates, go to team dinners, enjoy all the times that we get because not everybody gets a chance to be a part of this. So it's been fun. It's been a great journey, and if you can't tell by our bench and our team's camaraderie and togetherness, like it's huge, and that's what pushed us over the top today. Yeah,
That's Riley Minix talking about the game winner last night over the Utah Jazz in the Summer League in Las Vegas. Spurs go on to win that game by 2 in overtime. Chica and I have been watching the Summer League games, and I was telling her over the past week or so that this is like the show Hard Knocks. The Hard Knocks where you watch that show on HBO, and you know that 80% of the players there are never going to make the team. They're never going to make the team. But there's a handful who are clinging on to that dream for dear life. And you mentioned a name the other day or about 30 minutes ago to me privately, Ledbetter.
I would say an Austin Spurs lifer, right?
Right. Just somebody who held on to that dream and it didn't happen, right? These guys are going to go off and they're going to become high school basketball coaches. Maybe they'll become an assistant coach on a college level. Maybe they'll go off and be a middle school coach, insurance agent like me, whatever the case may be. They'll do something in life.
That was Spurs Summer League legend, though, man. I put some respect on that man's name, Ledbetter.
Right.
He was good, man.
He was good, but he wasn't good enough. And I'm telling Chica this. I'm looking at this going, look at these players here. In particular, Jones Garcia. In particular, Riley Minix. You look at these guys and you think to yourselves, they're on the cusp of becoming certified NBA players. Riley Minix, 24 years old. And he mentioned NAIA. He played at Morehead State, for crying out loud. And the Spurs Summer League, Dexter Dennis from, I believe, Texas A&M went off yesterday for 10 points, 3 of 4 from 3. The guy's just knocking down 3 after 3 after 3. They're playing for their chance to either be a Spur or catch on to some team somewhere. And it is so dramatic to see because what we're watching, Joe, is we're watching players ascend and we're watching some players fall. Harrison Ingram, man, the Spurs got to do something with him, man. Harrison Ingram is just not playing well. Hasn't played well at all last year as well. And it's just one of those things where you watch this and you think to yourself, this is a great thing to watch a couple of players who are making a name for themselves, like saying, I deserve to be on an NBA roster. If the Spurs said, hey, last 2 roster spots are Riley Minix and
Garcia,
Jones Garcia, I'd be a happy man.
haven't they earned it? If you're playing very, very well in summer league, and notoriously you've shown up, and they've seen what Riley Minix can do already, and now you're seeing what David Jones, or should I say Mr. Garcia, should I say, is doing right now in summer league. And they've asked him to do different things, right? And he hasn't complained. He's like, hey, I'm going to do whatever I got to do to help the team win, and hey, you can't ask for anything more. The brother's a baller, man. He goes out there and he's been balling in summer league. How can you not sign him?
He just hoops. Last night off the bench, David Jones Garcia, 28 minutes, 10 of 19 shooting, knocked down 5 3-pointers, had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, a grand total of 28 points, which is a summer league high. He got his summer league high off the bench, Joe, not just as a starter, off the bench, which means that he's not rattled by the fact that he's not part of the starting 5. You could bring him in 6 to 10 minutes into the game, and he's perfectly fine jumping on in.
He just wants to hoop.
Gonna hoop. It wasn't his cleanest game. At 5 fouls, a couple of turnovers I wish he didn't have. But at the end of the day, we talk about the Spurs needing what? They need ballers. They need people who can get a bucket. The one person who can't get a bucket, though, is Carter Bryant. And I'm not sounding the alarm yet, Joe. Okay, I'm not sounding the alarm
yet. Not the Titanic, not sounding the alarm.
But I'm getting the alarm. You know how they say in case of glass break, in case of emergency break glass?
Break glass, yeah.
Okay, I have broken the glass, but I haven't pulled the thing down yet. Okay, the lever's still up. I'm touching the lever, right? I have a poll at MJ Acquired Taste asking the question, how concerned are you about Carter Bryant's inability to make a bucket? The guy chips paint off the rim, Joe.
But
as good of a defender as he is, can you have a player out there who can't make a bucket?
His shot doesn't look broken, though. I mean, I think this is what Spurs fans.
So he's just cold?
No, this is what Spurs fans can realistically expect out of Carter Bryant. And it's not a knock on the kid. And I'm not discounting what he can grow or aspire to. I'm just saying right now, at this stage, early in his career, being a rookie, Spurs fans can see the kid he's a lockdown defender, man. The kid's got it on defense. Now, if you're expecting him to come in and be an offensive powerhouse, you're going to be sorely mistaken and disappointed because that's not going to be his forte. He's going to be a defensive specialist, much like Sohan. Now, if you can get some point production out of him, whether you get a couple points, 6 points, 10 points out of the kid on any given night, great. If you can get a couple points out of him, but that's not why he's out there. His job is to be a pest on defense. And I think he's going to play his role very well. But that should be the expectation of Spur fan for Bryant.
People on our chat, which is powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. By the way, every Wednesday, they have Wednesdays, half off champagne bottles, half off wine bottles there at the La Cantera location. Calling Carter Bryant, Sohan 2.0.
Yeah. We
have Tony Ornalis in our chat referring to him as possibly the next Bowen 2.0. Bowen, who was able to make a 3-point shot only on the sides. If you remember, Bruce Bowen had a corner 3. He had no other game. Could not drive in, could not finish breaks. He could not create his own shot. He only had the corner 3. Carter Bryant is young enough to develop something, hopefully. But the fact of the matter is that you look at him play, and defensively, he struggled last night. because 6'11" was too tall for him to guard. So he needs to guard people 6'8" and below. Filipowski was way too high. Was way
maybe a
too tall.
smaller. Let's say for example, Mike, if the opposing team's best player is under 6'11", Carter Bryant's got it. If he's taller than 6'11", that's when you're gonna have one of the bigger guys come in and help, because Carter Bryant's gonna need help on that defensive end. And we saw what happened with Filipowski, right? He came over late on that defensive rotation and got posterized.
Yeah.
You're already late. At that point, why even contest? It's going to be an and one. Just let the brother have his dunk. You know?
Well, I made the joke yesterday to a friend of mine that Carter Bryant is so good at defense. He not only prevents the opposing player from scoring, he prevents himself from scoring. Which is one of those things where how important is it to have a lockdown defender if that lockdown defender brings nothing to the table offensively? At that point, isn't it just a cross out? Didn't they just void themselves out? You know, it's just like you need to have. I understand that defense is part of the game, and people are telling me, well, here's the thing, man. You can have a defender out there because other people are going to pick up the slack. You can have Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, De'Aaron Fox, Victor Wembanyama pick up the slack offensively. Okay. But if you have Sohan out there and Carter Bryant out there, those are two players who can't get a bucket to save their lives unless they're what? Backdoor cuts? That's basically it.
Yeah.
And all these people say,
layup, dunk, you know?
Go to the poll on my Twitter real fast. Let's see what people are saying. I want you to vote on this, Joe.
Yeah, and we also have some incoming super chats.
Yeah, I'll get to them in a second. Yeah. But at MJ Acquired Taste, we'll go to the super chats immediately after that because they're at least referring to us.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. I'm going to go ahead and show the poll. I just saw it right now.
So the question is, and I have the stats. I did the math. I said Carter Bryant in 5 summer league games, 8 for 40 shooting, 20%. And 4 from 25 from 3, 16%. Are you worried at this at all? Joe, how would you vote on this?
I'm not worried at all. I mean, that's the Spurs drafted the kid not for his offensive prowess. They drafted him to do one thing and do it well, and that is play defense.
Is that worth a lottery pick?
According to the Spurs, it is. You
I
know,
don't think so.
The mantra of
the Spurs spent 2 lottery picks. Jeremy Sohan at number 9 in the draft in 2022. Carter Bryant number 14 in the draft in 2025. They spent 2 lottery picks on players who couldn't make a bucket. Now, I understand that people are like, oh, well, he averaged 37% from 3 in college. That 3-point line is shorter, and he did not shoot very often. He is not a volume shooter. He looks like the shot's not broken. He looks athletic enough to get better. So I'm not going to say that I'm very worried. But if I was to vote on this poll, I would say that I'm a little bit worried. Because if you're not able to go and shoot buckets against a summer league squad, how the hell are you going to shoot against an NBA roster?
Yeah.
If you're 8 for 40 against these guys, 2/3 of which will never be in the league, will be out of the league this year. And you're going 8 for 40. And it's not like, oh, well, he was cold for one game. He has been cold every single game that he's been out there. And the thing is that you might look at it and you be rest assured that, okay, well, he's doing well defensively, right?
Yeah.
Well, what happens when yesterday happens? When yesterday happens, and he's getting brutalized and he's not stopping anybody, and then you're not scoring, you become useless.
Well, what happens when this is in the context of a regular season game, right? And we've seen what happens at times when the Spurs go for a spell and they just are cold as ice. Can't knock down a bucket to save their lives. The league gets extended to 18, 20 points right away. Dig themselves in a hole, have a hard time coming back. And then they make a run at the very end of the game in the fourth quarter. Spurs fans get excited, but there's just not enough offense to overcome the deficit that they put themselves in early on in, let's say, that third quarter.
Right.
They need people that are going to knock down shots, and that's what you're going to not get with Carter Bryant. You're not going to get that guy that can just go off and get you 20 points right away. That's not going to be his game. He can lock down his opposing player that he's going to have to guard. But other than that, he can't score.
Right.
And what is it, a detriment to the team, or is it a benefit because he can play defense, but he's just not going to put up points?
It almost sounds as though that if the Spurs fall behind, he can't get onto the court. Because if you need points, he might not be the one to get you those points.
But if you get somebody that's going to knock down points, what are you going to lose on the defensive end?
Well, you have to weigh both sides together, Joe. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why I harp on things like effective field goal shooting, because it's all about those analytics that determine whether or not a player should be out there on the court.
Here's one thing you haven't thought of, and I have thought of this quite a bit actually. And looking at the Spurs and seeing who they've been drafting, seeing the pieces that they're putting together here, and I can see what's happening. They're trying to put together a team that can play very good defense, right? They're going to be an above average defensive team. They can be a menace, a pest at times for stretches, but not consistently for the full 48 minutes. And that's fine. Nobody in this league is going to play defense for the full 48 minutes, but you can't get stops. You can decide to play defense at the end of quarters, especially at the end of the third or second half, things like that, right? What I'm seeing here, though, from this team is the inability to be able to score, score consistently. You're gonna have guys that are going to be able to knock down, and we talked about this. They're going to be able to knock down a jumper here and there. But who are you going to have on this team that's going to put up 3-point shots? And that's where the Spurs are lacking. In today's league, it's very heavy when it comes to 3-point shooting. That's
Right.
what they do a lot. The 3-point shooting percentage is way up there because the teams, they take a lot of points from beyond the arc. If the Spurs get into that silly sequence with these other teams, just shoot the three, and it's not going down, that's detrimental to your offensive game. Now, when you're looking and seeing what's going to happen in that context, the Vegas odd makers, what did they say? We had said before this even came out, this is a 43 win, maybe 45 win team, right? And that's not a knock on the team. Just as they're currently constructed, you can see that they're putting together a team that's going to play good defense, but can't knock down a consistent bucket from beyond the arc. Given all that information, the Vegas odd makers say this is a 42.5 win team. 42.5 wins, maybe 43 or 45. That's good enough to get you what? To a play-in. Maybe that 8th spot. You're going to be in a play-in, but is it going to be good enough for you to get beyond that because you can't shoot a 3?
Well, here's the thing. DraftKings Sportsbook did release its team wins predictions so far, and based on what the Spurs have done in the draft, getting Dylan Harper, getting Carter Bryant, what they've done going off and getting Kelly Olynyk, who, by the way, was at the Summer League game yesterday. The Spurs now have a 42.5 over-under. And you look at what Vegas odds are saying, that they think the Spurs are the number 8 team in the West. Number 8 team in the West is part of the play-in, has to win one of 2 games to get into the playoffs, Joe. So they would be in the driver's seat to get into the play-in, into the playoffs, because all they would need to do is win one of the 2 games in the play-in to make it. They'd have to lose both games to not be in the playoffs.
Yeah. So let's address the super chat that came in from the
So let's go into the super chats, because the super chats has all been revolving around Carter Bryant. Carter Bryant struggling, 8 for 40 in the Summer League in 5 games. Struggled again. He hasn't had one good shooting night. And it's one of those things where I ask the question, should people be worried about this? And people are saying, Michael, it's just Summer League. And I'm saying, well, no, it is just Summer League. He's shooting 20% against Summer League talent. You put him on a floor against NBA talent, what's he going to be doing out there? And to address your question, Joe, about the lack of 3-point shooting, who on the Spurs Summer League could knock down threes? Jones Garcia.
Minix.
Maybe they rival. Maybe the person on the clock isn't Sohan. Maybe the person on the clock is Julian Champagny.
Maybe.
Because people keep asking, whose minutes would he take? Isn't Champagny's the minutes you would take?
Who's going to be mad if he takes Champagny's minutes? Come on.
Right. So let's go ahead and hear the super chats. What's going on?
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
There you go. This one's from the Drew Show. Drew Show says, 6'11", Kyle Filipakowski. looking like Lori Markkinen's understudy.
Understood.
He says, also, how long are you going to harp on Carter? Spurs are committed to develop him for at least 3 years. He goes, with all due respect, STFU, shut the F up, is what he's saying.
Okay, that's kind of going back to Step Brothers. I said, with all due respect, so- by the way, I just noticed we're twinsies. You mentioned that earlier. We're
Yeah,
twins.
we're both
we
wearing
both
the
got the
gear.
merch. We both got the merch on today. Carter Bryant might benefit most from going to Austin and going out and developing a shot or trying to develop something. I'm a big believer that no one develops anything like that, man. You refine a shot. A 34% shooter might become a 36% shooter from three. Yada yada yada. Developing a game. We talked about this yesterday. The myth that Kawhi Leonard had no offensive game come into the Spurs. Like it's talk about the myth, right? I mentioned watching the movie The Alamo, right? And I'm watching the movie The Alamo yesterday, thinking to myself, man, 99% of this is just BS. It's just myth after myth after myth. And if you keep saying that myth over and over again, people just believe it as fact. And the myth of Kawhi Leonard had no offensive game when he came to the Spurs just took him and made him an offensive juggernaut when the guy averaged 16 points per game in college. Okay, that's stupid, right? And what I said during the draft was the Spurs are going to look at Carter Bryant, and if it doesn't work, I want it to work. I want to be so wrong about this. But if it doesn't work out, the red flags would have been, hey, man, you guys drafted in the lottery a guy who averaged 6 points per game in college, a guy that only played 19 minutes per game in college. That's the red flag that goes up, and no one wants to see that because it's a shiny new toy.
Yeah.
He does have pride in his defensive play, right?
Yeah.
He does have pride in that. But I question in the year 2025, going into the 2026 season, whether that defensive play is as important as having some offensive skill sets. We have another super chat coming in from the Drew Show.
There he is, Mike.
Says, spare us the Carter Bryant slander. It's repetitive. And he has another $5 one that says,
we got another one coming in from him. He says, he goes, forgot. He goes, give me he's going, the Sitco drunk. Theo and New Grito, please. We'll go ahead and play that.
Let's read the other one first
Yeah,
before we get to
no.
Grito.
I got you.
Yeah, it says whether Carter Bryant will or won't develop, whether we should be developing a team is a moot point. We are who we are. He is on the team. I'm not saying that he isn't on the team. He is obviously a member of this team. First round draft picks get a guaranteed spot on the roster, right? They're on the 15-man roster. Doesn't mean he won't play in Austin. What I am saying is that Spurs fans need to have certain realistic expectations of these players. Carter Bryant's not going to play a lot of minutes. He's not. Dylan Harper's going to play a ton. Harper missing shots yesterday. I have no problem with him missing shots yesterday because that's just him not having his legs. That's perfectly fine. He'll get that as the season comes along. He gets into a rhythm, kick the rust off, all that stuff. He's going to be perfectly fine. Carter Bryant, though, if you can't bring anything offensively, you're going to be out there for what? The last 2 minutes of each quarter? That's basically about it. Would it be better for him to play 7 minutes a game, 10 minutes a game for the varsity squad, the Spurs, or would it be better for him to get 25, 30 minutes a game in Austin right now? I think they need to send him to Austin. And I think that's like, keep him there for a few months, man. Just keep him there. Have him try to develop something, man. But one of the players that we talked about, Joe, as we talked to, we have the Grito coming in. I want to talk about Jones Garcia when we come back after the Grito. And I want to get into, don't forget to remind me, Ron Harper. That guy's a menace on Twitter, man. I'm loving it. I'm afraid of him. Let's hear the Grito.
He wants to see the Sitco old man getting mad fighting.
Yeah.
Ponme penas toda la pura verga. Se tapan a la verga. Mira.
So, I mean, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love the Sitco guy, dude. The Sitco guy is pretty badass.
He's everybody's drunk uncle at the barbecue, man.
He is. Don Harris of News 4 San Antonio is somebody who very rarely gives out praise. He's usually Mr. Pump the Brakes, right?
Yeah.
Pump the brakes about this. Pump the brakes about that. This isn't going to happen. This won't happen. He's always Mr. Pump the Brakes. He posted last night, in 6 Summer League games, David Jones Garcia has 141 points in 150 minutes. He's shooting 64.5% from three and is averaging 23.5 points per game. Then he goes on to say, seriously, when are the Spurs going to sign David Jones Garcia, best summer league player since Gary Neal in 2010? Don Harris, Mr. Pump the Brakes, Mr. It's not that big of a deal, man. It's not that big of a deal. It's just summer league. When Don Harris is impressed, it very rarely happens. I'm not saying Don Harris is always right, but what I'm saying is that I found it interesting is that the biggest skeptic is convinced that the Spurs need to go get David Jones Garcia as part of the roster. Now, on my on my Twitter account, I have an interview that was posted by the Spurs, brought to you by Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5. It's head coach Mike Neu is talking about last night's game, talking about David Jones Garcia and what he has done on this team. Joe, I don't know if you have that all ready to go.
I have it ready to go. I'll put it on.
Let's hear what he had to say about it. I'm going to stop it halfway through, so let's pause it every once in a while,
Gotcha.
and I'll start talking where it needs to pause. So let's hear from head coach Mike Neu.
Doing pretty good. Yeah, everyone likes to focus on the last minute stuff, and we had some big time plays. Eaves hit 2 free throws. Riley hits the game winner. Dylan had a late game bucket. But it's all the other stuff that kind of weighs in throughout the game that's more important. I didn't think our starters showed up to play tonight. I let them know. I thought our bench came in. They provided some good energy, and then the starters kind of responded as the game went on. We had a lot of turnovers there in the second half. We had a lot of undisciplined switches off the ball in the second half. But at the end of the day, our guys did enough to get it done.
All
Did
right.
have to get it done. Now, what he said was, and it's actual and factual, like TLC said back in the 90s, they were not ready to play. The starters came out just in a trance. Dylan Harper struggled in the first half, missed 6 of his first 7 shots. We've talked about Carter Bryant not making a bucket. Riley Minix, who had the heroics in overtime, struggled to start the game. Spurs fell behind by double digits in the first quarter, and then they came back to take the lead in the second quarter. Had the lead in the third, lost to the lead in the fourth quarter in the last minute, sent it to overtime, got the win. He was asked about Carter Bryant's shot. How worried is he about Carter Bryant's shot? Again, 8 for 40, 20% in 5 summer league games. Let's see what he has to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ran that one in training camp. We haven't been in
How about the game-winning
many
shot?
close games where we had to use it.
You want me to go back to further down?
No, just keep playing it.
Training camp. We haven't been in too many close games where we had to use it. And the guys, I maybe remembered it, maybe didn't. The initial play, I think, was for Carter coming off, for Dylan coming off. Harrison and Ingram made a terrific pass. We did not have any timeouts, so it was we have to get the ball in, and Riley did the rest. Riley is a good basketball player. We've known him for a while now. It's been a little hidden because of his shoulder. No one really got to see him play. Offensive efficiency's there. I actually thought he might have been our best on-ball defender tonight. Second half, he had some slip-ups, but the first half, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Dude, Riley Minix getting some love from Mike Noyes, man. So this is the guy who's going to be a two-way player at the very least.
Riley Minix plays hard, dude. He gives you good production when he's out on the court.
Let's hear what Mike Noyes had to say even more about the game. He's going to be talking about Carter Bryant's shot and Dylan Harper and his expectations.
Biased here. I have not watched much summer league outside of the teams we've played. To me, he's the best player in summer league.
Talk about Jones
He has
Garcia.
been phenomenal. What he brings off the bench now. I mean, he took a backseat role, but he had no problem with it. He said, "I'll do whatever's best for the team." And whatever contract he gets coming out of summer league, he deserves every penny of it. He's been. It's tough.
All right, let's talk
Bill,
about
the
that.
first
Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Let's wrap that.
that's
That's
big.
Coach Mike Noyes of the Spurs Summer League. Talking about David Jones Garcia taking a back seat because he started the games in the California League.
Yeah.
Right. Comes to Las Vegas, takes a back seat because Dylan Harper's starting. Comes out, scores 28 points just because. Right? No problem. I'll come off the bench. What had 23 points a game before, 28 points this time. He's scoring 23.5 points per game in the Summer League, whether he's starting or off the bench. Knocked down 5 3-pointers yesterday. 5. Again, shooting 63% from 3 in the Summer League. The guy is balling, and for Mike Noyes to come out and say what? He deserves a contract of some sort. which means worst case scenario, he's going to get a two-way contract somewhere. The Spurs will offer that at the minimum. But again, if another team comes knocking on his door and says, "Hey, we want you there,"
He gone.
who was there? JJ Redick was in the audience yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
JJ Redick needs a JJ Redick who shot threes for a living. Do you think he looks at this guy and goes, "Maybe I want him on my team"? The Spurs can't two-way this guy because there's gonna be a team out there who's gonna offer him a full contract if the Spurs two-way him, and he's gonna be like, gone. Not because the Spurs want him gone, it's because he needs to do what's best for him and his family. Jones Garcia is a interesting player. 4 years of college, St. John's, DePaul. Played for that Mexican team in the G League. Made all first team G League last year. Balling out in the summer league. Tell me another player who deserves a spot on an NBA roster, Joe. Because if the Spurs don't sign him and get a retread who averaged 5 points per game for the Celtics or 5 points per game for the T-Wolves, and we get some retread, I want some guy who's unproven, who there might be some potential there, who might be a Jonathan Simmons, who might be a Gary Neal, who might be a player like that just is a diamond in the rough type of thing. I'm excited for him.
Who was that other
NBA
shooter that we had? We had, was it Gary Neal, and they had what's his name? The other guy that he has a son that plays in the league now. He was playing over with the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson.
Oh, Jaren Jackson, yeah.
They had Gary Neal, Jaren Jackson Jr. or Jaren Jackson Sr. Jr. is the one that's playing in the league right now. But I remember that tandem that the Spurs had back in the day. I mean, they weren't, let's say, flashy by any means, but what could they do? Get you some threes. When they would get hot, all of a sudden, get on the streak and get you some threes. And that actually helped carry them further into the playoffs when some of the offense got stagnant. When the, let's say, opposing team was really clamping down on the San Antonio Spurs defensively, you needed to get some offense from somewhere. And thank God you had Gary Neal and Jaren Jackson out there on the wing, just sitting there camping out, being able to knock down an open three, Mike.
Yep.
If
you can knock down an open three, you will have a job in the NBA for sure. You know how I refer to Dylan Harper as my son?
Yeah.
I think that I'm a little bit scared to call him that anymore. Not because I don't want to. I'm afraid of his dad, Ron Harper, man. Harper.
What's wrong with Ron?
One of my favorite follows. I think Ron Harper will come chase me down. Ron Harper, he's got some dog in him on social media, man.
What's wrong with that, dude?
No, I have no problem with it, man. I love it. But Ron Harper, so there was it was ESPN or the NBA on their Twitter account showed that dunk that Kyle Filipowski had on Carter Bryant.
Yeah.
And said, "Oh, what a dunk, highlight of the night," that type of thing. And Ron Harper chimes in with "Yeah, but did they win? They got a loss." And he comes in to defend the Spurs and defend Dylan Harper and all that stuff, and he's coming to his aid and all that stuff. And I find it funny that Ron Harper is forever on Twitter, man. Forever on Twitter. You can tell he's probably one of these guys that's always on the phone, right? But I like that, Joe. I like that Ron Harper is interactive with the crowd.
Yeah.
We mentioned that Hollywood Nixon pissed him off the other day.
He did, dude.
Got under his skin a little bit.
It was Sohan. He got under Sohan's skin.
Sohan, that's right.
He was being a little bit out there. And this is the thing with Spurs Twitter. You have your faithful that are very vocal at times, and they get a lot of flack from the fan base, right? They get a lot of pushback. And one of those is one of the guys that we just had on not too long ago. What's his name? The Hailstone, the other guy that we had on here. And we also had Hollywood Nixon, and they get a lot of flack, get a lot of pushback. And we had Quan, right? That's his name, the final Quan.
Yeah.
That was on here. But there's nothing wrong with being vocal. And the cool thing is about both of them that I respect is that it doesn't matter how much the fan base pushes back on them. They stand on business. They're like, I said it. I'm going to stick to what I said.
Yeah.
Good for you that you're not backing down. It takes a lot of courage to say something and then double down on it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So Jeremy Sohan got in his feelings about something that Hollywood Nixon had said. And he kind of clap back.
Hollywood Nixon insinuated that Carter Bryant was Sohan's replacement.
Yeah, he clapped back. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, as a Spurs fan, you have a right to say stuff. Be critical of the team at times. It's the players sometimes they get a little offended by it. But it's like they have a right to say clap back if they want, and the fan has the right to say what they want too.
Mhm.
It's the free world that we live in.
Right. But it's interesting because that if he's out there talking about this with fans and he's going after fans, talking about Ron Harper, he's telling this to his son. That's the weird thing about it all. But I enjoy it. I don't think Ron Harper has stepped too far in any direction. I think he's done a fantastic job. Ron Harper, by the way, was a point guard for the Bulls and for the LA Lakers, right? Won 5 rings, played with Michael Jordan as a starting point guard, won with Kobe Bryant as a starting point guard. If I had a way to ask him a question right now, maybe I'll do so on Twitter today. I'd ask him, is Kobe Bryant a top 10 player of all time in the NBA? Because according to the Bleacher Report, Joe, he ain't. Well, you know what? I've said that for many years. I've had him at number 11 in my rankings for a long, long time. Bleacher Report announced their top 100 of all time. Joe, I have the list on Twitter.
Oh, no.
Some Spurs legends made the list.
No Avery Johnson, bro? Come
No
on.
Avery Johnson, man. But Tim, Tony, Manu, Gervin, all made the list. David Robinson made the list as well.
Isn't it funny, though, Mike, that sometimes, like, Spurs fans, they become so enamored with players that they actually really totally believe they belong in the top 50 or top 100 sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And they were nothing more than just a fan favorite. Like,
Yeah.
they weren't all that good. They all right, in the grand scheme of things, but were they NBA legends that deserve to be in that top 100 or top 50? Probably not. So let's find out who did make the list, Mike.
So we have on the list here Spurs legends on here that you would expect. They have Tim Duncan at number 7.
Okay.
I have Tim Duncan in my personal rankings around number 4 or 5.
Yeah, best power forward.
No higher than 4, no lower than 5. But if you're gonna say 7, at least it's top 10, right?
Hey, but where does Tim Duncan stand on the best trash talkers in the NBA? Probably number 1 or 2, bro. Because
in a weird way, man. In a weird way. Number 19, David Robinson, the Admiral.
Yeah.
Number 42, George Gervin, the Iceman, right?
Yeah.
Number 75, surprised to see because I'm happy to see Manu Ginobili. Then they have number 86, Tony Parker. Former Spurs to make the list. CP3 at number 30. Kawhi Leonard at 32. Dominique Wilkins at 51. Tracy McGrady, who had that one moment in the sun with the Spurs, almost won a chip in 2013. T-Mac at number 59. Paul Gasol, who played for the Spurs pretty well for a few years, at number 62. Dennis Rodman played for the Spurs in the 90s at number 67. And at number 100, the Spur that I don't think gets as much love as he should have.
Yeah.
Because most people considered him a bull. Number 100, they have Artis Gilmore. The A-Train. I'm happy to see Tim, Tony, and Manu obviously on there. George Gervin and David Robinson. Our good friend at Sweep the League has been getting into some crap on social media. People, instead of piling on me this week, they've been piling on Rudy Campos Jr. So Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 has it out for him because the question is that he says that Victor Wembanyama is not a generational player.
I don't think he said that. I think he was referring to it or alluding to it.
Right. He alluded to it, but it's one of those things where people are asking the question to define a generational player. I think someone who's a generational player is somebody who was taken in the top 1 or 2 picks in the draft. 1, 2, or 3.
Or could it be somebody that maybe was taken later on in the draft, but clearly changed that position that they played in, made it to where, you know what? Wow, look at this guy play. He's probably going to be one of the best players in the NBA. And one of those players that I'd have to say that is number 19 here on the list is David Robinson. David Robinson changed the perception of what a center could be. He is the stereotypical
David Robinson is most definitely a generational player.
Yeah.
But the definition, though, Joe, to me is I don't think that you can call a Nikola Jokic a generational player. I don't think you can call a Giannis Antetokounmpo a generational player, or even a Kawhi Leonard. They're generational talents. But the reason why they're not a generational player to me is because they did not have the expectations that came from day one. Nikola Jokic was a second-round draft pick. If he had flamed out, would anybody have cared? No. But he's won 3 MVPs and all that stuff, but he had no expectations. To me, a generational player is one that comes in, picked in the top 3 of the draft, had all the expectations in the world, and they still exceeded them. To me, that's a generational player. 1, 2, or 3, all eyes on you from day one, expectations up the ass, and you performed anyway.
Would you classify Steph Curry as that?
No, number 7 player in the draft.
Yep. And what,
No.
2009 draft?
Right. So, who are the generational players? Well, Tim Duncan was a generational player, number 1 pick of the draft, coming out of Wake Forest. Everyone knew he was going to be a stud. There you go. David Robinson. He was such a big talent. The Spurs drafted him knowing that he was going to be out for 2 years and that he didn't even have to come to the Spurs, because if you set out 2 seasons, you don't have to go to the original team that drafted you. But he was such a good player that they had to get him at number 1 overall. Other generational players could be like Shaq. All the expectations on them. Obviously, Michael Jordan, number 3 in the draft back in 1984. You have, players like I mentioned Shaq. There have been some generational busts as well, but I'm looking at the top 100 list real fast. I'm going to look that up real fast.
Shaq's up there, higher than what's his
That's
name?
the one weird one.
Higher
man.
than Tim Duncan.
I wouldn't put Shaq over Tim Duncan for my life. In fact, I don't even consider Shaq to be top 8. But they have number 1 Michael Jordan. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Number
LeBron
2,
James.
LeBron James. Bleacher Report has number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And you know what, Joe? That is 1, 2, and 3 in whatever order you want to put it in. Except I would never put LeBron number 1. If you want to put Kareem 1 or Michael 1, that's correct.
Look at Jonathan C. Can we talk about Detlef Shrimp? He was the best 6th man in the NBA. Come on.
Until Manu came around.
Yeah, until Manu.
Number 4. So, but here's the thing, Joe. I firmly believe that the 3 best players in NBA history are Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and LeBron James. That's 1, 2, and 3. That's 1, 2, and 3. That is the gold, bronze, and silver of it all. Number 4, they have Magic Johnson. I would say Magic Johnson should be top 10, but I would not have Magic Johnson at number 4. Because Magic Johnson did not live up to his potential, because Magic Johnson exited stage left with the HIV virus back in the early 90s. Without the HIV virus, I'd have him in the top 3. But because of that, and because his career is cut short, I have a hard time putting him at number 4. Bill Russell at number 5. Bill Russell with all the chips, but back in the day, they only had 9 teams. But still, the Celtics had so many rings.
What about Vince Carter? Yeah, that's a good one, Elias. Where is Vince Carter rank?
Vince Carter won nothing in his career. Number 6, they have Shaq. Number 7, Bleacher Report has Tim Duncan. Number 8, they have Larry Bird. Number 9, they have Wilt Chamberlain. And at number 10, Joe, not Kobe Bryant, they have Steph Curry.
And then Kobe.
And then Kobe.
So Kobe didn't make the top 10. So what does that say? He's not I guess, not a top 10 player of all time.
Well, you know how like we talk about Greg Popovich having 5 rings, but at the end of the day, his career ended with what? 6 straight losing seasons.
Yeah.
And the highs are high with Pop, but are you going to just disregard the fact that he had 6 losing seasons? That's Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant, 5 rings, right? He won with Shaq. He won with Paul Gasol. 5 rings, right? Can't disregard that, right?
Yeah.
But what did he do his last 6 seasons?
Look at
Just wet the bed for 6 seasons in a row.
Tony Hernandez. Vince Carter. Joe, that was a joke, right? Of course it was.
He dunked through the elbow. That's all he did in the NBA.
Alvin Robinson, number 7 for me. That's what Tony Ornella says. Curry over Kobe is nuts.
It's not.
Oh, God. Talk about a blast from the past. Kevin Duckworth. Remember that, brother, on the Portland Trailblazers?
Why are we talking about scrubs, dude? I don't want to talk about scrubs.
That guy,
I'm not going to revisit scrubs. Dude, talk about Kevin Duckworth.
that dude was nothing more than a freaking anchor, dude. He could not be moved. He was massive, man.
Joe, on this list I find funny, at number 17 and rising up, Nikola Jokic at number 17, above Dirk Nowitzki, David Robinson, and number 20, Dr. J. Nikola Jokic at 17 might end up in the top 10 when it's all said and done. Might F around and find himself in the top 10.
Jeez.
But Steph Curry, how many rings does Steph Curry have? 4?
Yeah.
He has 4 rings. He didn't win the Finals MVP twice, though, because Durant won both of them when Durant won his rings there in Golden State. But Kobe Bryant left the league with 6 losing seasons in a row, and that team was decimated by the time he left. He swallowed the salary cap, was not able to sign anybody to help him out. The bad teammate down the stretch. But when in his heyday, though, late 90s, 2000 to 2011, was an all-time great, man. He really was. But you look at the last 5 or 6 years, Joe, losing record. And it wasn't like they were just a couple of games under 500. They were one of the trash teams in the league. People don't want to bring that up. The guy shot barely 43% from the field for his career. Because why? He didn't want to give up control of the team. Look at what Tim Duncan did, Joe. This is why Tim Duncan's greater than Kobe Bryant. Both have 5 rings, right? Okay. But Tim Duncan knew when it was time to give the keys to another player. 2014, Kawhi's team. Tim had an important role on that team, but he knew that it wasn't important for him to be the number 1 option anymore, that he could just turn over the team to Tony Parker. He can turn over the team to Kawhi Leonard and just know his role and be a champion and be a leader.
He gave the keys to the wrong brother. Let's put it like that when they handed it over to Kawhi.
No, they didn't, man. They got a chip. Joe.
No, they got a chip. But after that, and once Tim Duncan exited stage left there and be like, all right, this is going to be Kawhi's team. The Spurs thrust that acronym upon him. This is going to be Kawhi's team now. He's going to be the guy to pick up the mantle. And he said, nope.
Well, one thing that I find interesting is, and someone brought this up, I think it might have been Tony in our chat, which is powered by PF Chang's La Cantera. Steph Curry, because Steph Curry didn't play defense, shouldn't be in the top 10. That's a very legit argument.
Then he got baby ankles.
If you look at everybody else, Joe, they played defense. Shaq was a defender. Bill Russell was a defender. Will Chamberlain was a defender. Tim Duncan was a defender. Michael Jordan. LeBron was a defender when he wanted to be. He waited till the 4th quarter to defend. He was pretty lax the first 3 quarters defensively. But the 4th quarter, he could put the clamps down on people.
What was Steph Curry's greatest weakness or his kryptonite? His ankles.
Well, that was in college. He never.
It was in the NBA too. He's been plagued by ankle injuries.
Show me the year where he missed a lot of games.
Come on. He's always worn high tops. He has this brace on both ankles. He's prone to ankle injuries.
Because at Davidson, he was prone to ankle injuries.
No, with the NBA too, man.
In the pros, it never happened, dude.
Oh, come on. Remember that game that he had? He had a series against the Spurs where he was playing on basically one ankle. He came back down. He jumped in the air, jumped down.
He had one season in 2011 and 2019.
He was always spraining his ankles, dude.
I stand corrected. It was early on into his career, but later on in his career did have an issue.
He just had one over here in the summer in the NBA playoffs.
Jonathan C saying that Curry can't dunk, and that's why he shouldn't be in the top 10. Could Tony Parker dunk? I don't remember Tony Parker ever dunking.
I think he dunked one time, and they made fun of him for it because he barely made it. Manu was like, They showed him on the sidelines. Remember, he's like, "Mira, Tony can dunk."
I mean, if you want to say that there's an issue with Steph Curry not being number 10 because he couldn't dunk or because he had ankle issues. At least he wasn't raping people.
Jesus.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is
Really?
it too soon? Is it too soon to remind people that Kobe Bryant more than likely raped that chick in Colorado?
No, my God, Mike.
Too soon?
Now they're gonna be coming for your
Vanessa
ass.
Bryant got a 5-carat ring, $5 million 5-carat ring for nothing? Come on, man. Come on, man. We all know it. We all know it. No one wants to talk about it. NDAs, baby. NDAs don't mean it didn't happen. Kobe more than likely raped that girl, dude. Is what it is. I'm not gonna say allegedly. Probably it did happen.
I ain't saying nothing. I'm staying clear away from that. That's all you, bro.
I said it.
It's gonna probably be out here on the X within next 5 minutes.
We'll put a poll out there. Did Kobe Bryant
Oh,
rape that chick in Colorado?
why are you the way you are sometimes, Mike? Like, who hurt you, bro?
It was a thing, right? It was a thing. Dude, if social media existed at that time the way that it does now, that would have been like the trial of the century. That would have been like the story of the century. But these guys get away with things. I'll give you an example. Ben Roethlisberger, with all the crap that he pulled, all the sexual crap that he pulled off early in his career. Oh, you don't know what I'm talking about that? Look it up. Look it up. That happened before MySpace and before Facebook and before Twitter. Look it up. All that crap comes out. Same thing about Brett Favre. What did I say when I found out that he had Parkinson's disease?
Good.
Good. Because he's a dick. That's why.
Oh my
That is
God, man.
Drew Show, put the poll up. Jonathan Pettis, there goes PF Chang's.
Yep. It was nice having you, Sean. Right? They're gonna come in tomorrow. Everybody's gonna come and watch the show tomorrow. They'll be like, "What happened to PF Chang's?"
Hey, Midtown Texas says Mike judges people based on their credit score and criminal record. So do insurance companies.
You want to
Did you
be
know
my
that,
friend?
Joe? Did
Let
you
me
know
see
that your auto insurance rate is partially based on your credit score?
Yeah, I know that. That's
They believe, they have stats that show the worse your credit score, the more likely you're going to have a claim.
well, like for my Cadillac, right? That I get full coverage insurance on it. People make fun of me because I barely pay like maybe $100 for full coverage on the damn
Yeah.
thing. And it's because like you said, your credit, right? However well you take care of your credit. I don't have any accidents. I work from home. Where am I going?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't really drive all that much. Okay, yeah, I see that, Sith. He said something to the media share.
Yeah, share the number as well, by the way. If you want to be part of the show in a different way, you can reach out to us based on our media share, which is at 830-391-9164, 830-391-9164. Send us a link, a photo, an article that you're reading, whatever the case may be that you think that might be interesting for this show. 830-391-9164. While you look that up, Joe, did you hear Tom Brady's camp is coming out saying that they're defending their boy Tom Brady, saying that Sofia Vergara is not too old for him?
Well, he's been linked to her. They said they've been dating or something. Who knows?
Yeah, so Tom Brady been linked to everybody from Sydney Sweeney to Sofia Vergara this year. Vergara twice the age, literally, than Sweeney.
Yeah.
But there was all these stories coming out saying that Tom Brady is like Leonardo DiCaprio. Once you get to a certain age, he doesn't want anything to do with you anymore, right?
That's why Tommy's the GOAT. He's out there making his own Infinity Gauntlet.
So
Good
now
on you, Tom.
So now his publicist is coming out saying, well, I mean, she's not too old for him. She's not too old for him. That's a weird comment to make as a publicist, by the way.
Who's gonna say no to Sofia Vergara?
Well, I mean, no one's gonna say no. But the thing is that would a Tom Brady, how old is Tom Brady? What is he? Probably mid-40s?
You know how old he is? Who cares? Go get your prize, King. Don't matter. It's just how you're gonna come at him if you say how young are we talking? Because what did you say? Half your age plus what? Oh God, Mike froze again. He's frozen down. We're going to have to go ahead and get this one. Let's see if I'm quick with it this time. There we go. So I was going to say, what's wrong with Tom Brady going out there? I said, go get your prize, King. But you were saying, I was telling you, when it comes to how young, I said, how young are we talking? Because you said, what was it, like 10 years or something like that? Plus what? It's too young?
It's half plus 7.
Half plus 7. All right.
Okay, so Tom Brady is I think he's like my age, right? Or he's maybe a couple years younger than me. Tom Brady age, he is 47, so he's a year younger than me, right? So half plus 7 means he should be dating somebody 31 or older, right? So it's a little bit creepy if you're under that. Sidney Sweeney's age. How old is she, Joe?
Who, Cindy Sweeney? She's probably like maybe 30, near 30.
She's 27, right? Sofia Vergara, on the other hand, though, Joe, if you're a 47-year-old Tom Brady and you want to get into a serious relationship with a woman, Sofia Vergara at 53, he's 47. Do you think he's going to go that old? We're not arguing her attractiveness because everybody in the world knows that she's attractive. That's not the situation here, right? She's 53, but she looks 30. Is what it is. But do you think that he is going to want to date somebody older than him? 6 years older than him. He can have basically any woman in the world for the most part. 6 years older than him, even if it is Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, we also got to go show this because Elias sent this to us to go ahead and share with everybody. There's an interview coming up here today, actually, that's going to be happening on Elias's YouTube channel, which you can go ahead and check out. It's also going to be multi-streamed over on the Sweep the League TV. We can go check them out on YouTube as well. They have a YouTube channel. That's going to be happening today around 7:30 p.m. It's going to be interesting. I guess you're going to be asked a lot of questions, and it's going to be given your time to shine, Mike. So if you all want to catch it, go watch it.
As I told Sith, it's not my territory, man. So whatever goes on in Plead the Sith is what goes on, man. So I'll be prepared when it comes to it all.
Oh, look at this. Drew Show says pretty soon it'll be the Area 210.
We don't need to read that one. We don't need to read that one, dude.
No, but it's gonna.
No, that's.
I'm not gonna.
We have a sponsor. No, we don't even post it, Joe.
I'm not posting that. I'm saying the funny thing is, it's like because of the things you say, it's gonna be like, what do you call it?
I didn't say
like,
anything.
No, like EJ's. What is it? That EJ's thing that they did on TNT? It's like the Area 210, sponsored by nobody. Because Mike keeps on saying bad things.
I didn't say anything bad. I didn't say anything about Sidney Sweeney. I didn't say anything about Sofia Vergara. I simply asked the question, do you think Tom Brady at the age of 47, the legend that he is, the GOAT of all time when it comes to football, is going to date somebody 6 years older than him, even if she's attractive? I don't think he is. I don't think he is. I mean, not seriously. Not a weekend thing, maybe. But not seriously. You got to be out of your mind if you think he's going to do that.
And what else? Okay, we have that. Okay, go ahead.
All right, let's talk about today is a big day over at PF Chang's. Just if you want to give us. So we're going to be doing a thing with PF Chang's in the next couple of weeks. This is the La Cantera location, but all the PF Chang's are donating proceeds today to the victims of the Kerrville floods and all the floods that happened all over Texas, whether it be Llano, Kerrville, all over the Hill Country, Camp Mystic, all of that stuff. So if you want to check out the PF Chang's today for lunch or dinner, it would go to a very, very good cause. Sean Quintero is our guy out there. 100% of all profits will be donated to the Texas Search and Rescue on the 16th as well. So I believe it's the 16th. So that's tomorrow. That includes the locations in San Antonio, New Braunfels, Austin downtown, Austin North, and Waco.
Nice. So make sure you go out and support the PF Chang's over at La Cantera if you want to go ahead and give to the cause.
Yeah. Very, very nice.
Good stuff, man.
Joe, I watched the movie The Alamo yesterday. Bunch of basura that movie was, man. It was so bad, Joe.
You know which one was probably better? The one that they used to show us as kids. Remember, we used to have like field trips once in a while, way
The
back
John
when.
Wayne one?
I think so. It was another one that they showed at River Center Mall. Remember it when they had first opened the IMAX?
Yeah.
That was one of the first films, and I think they still show it there. And it was the Alamo movie. And remember, they took us all on a field trip over there to go see this movie because I don't know, it was educational or something. So we watched the Alamo excerpt or whatever that they had there at the River Center. That was probably better than what you watched. Even the John Wayne movie of years ago was probably better than the one you watched with Billy Bob Thornton.
The Billy Bob Thornton one, I mean, that was the one that tanked at the box office, right? That was the
Yeah.
Disney version of the Alamo. And it was filmed in South Texas, I believe, out near Eagle Pass, if I'm not mistaken. They built, and it's still up, by the way. They have the fake Alamo thing. What I like about the Alamo movies, though, is that it shows how big the Alamo complex is, because what we see is what's left over, which is the church. And I'm glad the renovations are being done downtown, but they got rid of all those bars and things in the front that are going to be making it look like it did back in the day. Because the Alamo was not a church. The Alamo was a fortress, right? And the church is what stands, what remains.
Yeah.
If you go to like Mission San Jose, or if you go to Mission San Jose is probably the best one that you look at. You see the church, but you see the
Yeah.
grounds, right? You see the walls and all that stuff.
The way it looked.
That's a very important scene. Very important to see out there. But in watching the movie, Joe, the historical inaccuracies of the Alamo is stupid. It's
It's
beyond
not glory. It
stupid.
was no glory.
Well, I mean, the victors are the one who tell the story, right? The victors are the one who tell the story, whether it's factual or not. They tell the story.
Well, the victors were going to be probably the Mexican army that won, but the victims could tell the story too, because you had the Mexican army when they came in, they let go the women and the children, but they kept all the men that were fighting,
Right.
you know, in the siege itself. They dispatched them, but they allowed the women and the children to leave. So there's something being said with that, because they could tell their story from their perspective, you know?
Right. So Susanna Dickinson is the one who survived the Alamo,
Yeah.
and also Ben, who was a slave. It was Mexican territory. The people that were in the Alamo were not all angels. I mean, William Travis, who was the one in charge of the Alamo, was running away from the fact that he had unpaid taxes. You had Davy Crockett, who got pissed off because he lost an election. You had other people. It was like a band of misfits, by the way, is basically what it was. And they were breaking Mexico law. It's interesting because, you tell the story about it all, and it's just like, is it a revolution, or was it the fact that Mexico was just clamping down on what was their territory to begin with, right? But what I found interesting about it, though, is that the legend that is Davy Crockett. Davy Crockett was known as somebody who like all the tall tales about Davy Crockett, right? He was kind of like the Paul Bunyan.
He's a frontier man,
of his time.
outdoor man.
The interesting thing about Davy Crockett was that the day before the Alamo fell, he got out and he went back in. Is that heroic or stupid?
He fell?
No, before the Alamo fell on March 6, 1836, he got out. He was out in Cibolo. He went from the Alamo to Cibolo. He went past all the Mexican army, and he went to Cibolo. And then he came back. Did you know that?
No.
It's actually presented in the movie. That's actually factual. So in the movie, they show that there were some reinforcements coming in, but Colonel Fannon's men had been executed and all that stuff, right? But there was an attempt to get more people to defend the Alamo. So he was dispatched along with a couple of others to go find other men or go meet other men who are interested in fighting for the cause. So he left downtown San Antonio and went up what is now I-35 on horseback. He could have just left. Davy Crockett could have just left. Instead, he brought more people over. I think 20 people over who were willing to fight for that cause. He brought them back to the Alamo, got back into the Alamo, and as Mike Taylor would say from in the building, he got died. He literally left the complex when the army was there. He knew the numbers were there, and he decided to come back. Either that's bravery or stupidity. I don't know what it is, Joe. What do you think?
Maybe it was just him knowing that, you know what, after all the mistakes that he's made, maybe it's best to atone for it by making a last stand and going back and standing for something finally, even if it is just, hey, you're going to perish, but at least you stood for something in your final moments to atone for what you've done in the rest of your life, and we have an incoming super chat here coming in from Tex-Mex Frank.
Money talk.
Here comes the money.
So Tex-Mex Frank says, play the grito. The Mexicanos yelled, Viva Mexico, cabrones. He wants the new grito, the one with the dog.
This is for Santa Ana's men.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
Drew Show with a $5 super chat saying Andrew Jackson, who's the president of the United States at the time, sent Davy Crockett and Sam Houston and other Tennessee agents to start a rebellion and undermine Stephen F. Austin's authority. That's history. It's very complicated, man. I appreciate that, Drew. Thank you for the support. It's very, very complicated how this all works out. And I think that the problem with U.S. history, Texas history, is that politicians get involved in telling it. There is a scene in the movie Good Will Hunting where Matt Damon's character talks to Robin Williams' character, who was his therapist in the movie, and says, have you ever read this one book about U.S. history? And it's basically all the bad things that the U.S. has ever done, that the government has ever done to its people. And all of that gets swept under the rug, right? Because it's not patriotic. It's too woke. It's too whatever. Whenever I hear that, dude, it just means that they don't want to hear the real truth about what happened, right? And the Alamo is the most visited place for tourists in all of Texas. And it's so misunderstood because it's told by who? It is told by the Daughters of the Republic of Texas, right? They tell the story the way that they want it to be taught, right? I one time met with a curator, I guess you could say, of the museum at the Alamo, and he was one time giving me a tour of it all, and it was not a regular tour that was like, it was not a regular tour where all the public was going into, and I asked him straight out, do you think Davy Crockett was executed at the end? Because that is the belief in the movie that came out with Billy Bob Thornton, who plays Davy Crockett. They show him getting executed, right? But they show him being executed by being bayoneted to death, right? And the guy told me our Alamo employee says, we're not allowed to talk about that, ... but we'll tell you what our thoughts are. He says, our thoughts are that he was executed along with a few other people at the Alamo in front of the building. When you look over there to the left side, right? He goes, you want to know how they have proof? When you go to the Alamo, you look at the doors. So if you're looking at the Alamo, you go to your left, 6 feet high, 5.5, 6 feet high, is a straight line of gunfire. And they said that that's evidence that there was an execution somewhere. Now, was it Davy Crockett that got executed? We don't know. There was that one.
Yeah.
There was that one diary that was found of a Mexican army soldier who said that Davy Crockett was executed. Firing squad type of thing. But for those who say that JHSB say Mike is misinformed, no, I'm not. I'm actually highly informed. I studied politics. I studied history growing up, and
So
it's
you're a
different.
history major now?
Huh?
You're a history major now.
Well, it's a political science major, but part of that is history. Rafa saying Ozzy Osbourne left his mark there at the Alamo. Actually, he didn't. He never pissed on the Alamo. He pissed on the statue in front of the Alamo. See see, urban legend. That's the thing, Joe. Urban legend. Everyone believes that Ozzy Osbourne unzipped his pants and pissed on the building or pissed on the walls. He didn't. He pissed on the statue in front. That big ass statue that got removed, the cenotaph, that's what he pissed on.
We got another.
Jonathan C. talking about MLK was a white beater. Yeah. There's so much going on onto it all. There's belief that Abraham Lincoln may have liked men.
Actually, I was reading or seeing a documentary on was it Old Abe or whatever, and they were saying that he had like what was it? He had an STD of some kind. I don't know what it was.
Who's that?
Abraham Lincoln.
Could have been.
No, he did. Because he was with a prostitute, and they were saying that he had contracted an STD. I think it was syphilis or something that he had to live with the rest of his life because there was no cure for that stuff back then. So I was just watching a documentary. I think it was over the 4th of July weekend. I was listening to all this stuff that they were playing, and I was, revisiting it was like a marathon of the history of America and whatnot. And I was listening to it and was watching it, and I caught that. I was like, okay.
Our good friend Wesley Perkins, who did the show with us a couple weeks ago over at Madison High School, comes out and says Jim Bowie was his favorite person at the Alamo.
Yeah.
And then, that's another question. Did he die in a cot because he was sick? He was going to die anyway. He was sick, right? Or did he die fighting? And everyone's going to say he died fighting, when more than likely he died in a cot, which in the movie he died in a cot. Have you noticed, Joe? And I went on Wikipedia yesterday to look up all these different people. Everybody in the Alamo supposedly died on March 6th, 1836. But Susanna Dickinson, who was if I'm not mistaken, who was the person who survived the Alamo, right? One of the women that was inside it who survived the Alamo, has said that Travis was one of the first people who died. And he probably died before March 6th, but it's kind of like one of those things where and then the other thing is that if you go to San Fernando Cathedral, you walk in on the left-hand side, they have a casket or some sort of marble thing there that supposedly has the ashes of the Alamo defenders in there. And Juan Seguin, a year after, 13 months after the siege, went back to go get the ashes because they were piled. All the bodies were burned, were stacked, kind of like the movie Glory. They were stacked and then wood put on top, and they were all burned. And the ashes were left there. And 13 months later, Juan Seguin went back over there to gather the ashes. They were put at San Fernando Cathedral and buried, right? The question becomes, are those the Alamo defenders? Because some bones were found and remains were found. And they were given to San Fernando Cathedral and they were buried there. And the belief is San Fernando Cathedral says that these are the remains of Crockett. These are the remains of whatever. What if scientists have asked for? Can we test it? Can we get DNA testing on it? What do you think San Fernando Cathedral said? Nah, we're good. We're good. We don't want to know. We don't want to know. Again, they can go out there and say that it's Crockett's body in there. It's Bowie's body in there. It's Travis's body in there. Can we prove it? We have their descendants. No, we're good. We're good.
So,
I don't know, man. But that movie sucked ass, by the way.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it again. I don't even think I've ever watched it because I knew it was going to be so bad. But we have another, let's say, picture being shared here on the media share, and we're going to show these. This is by Jonathan Pettis, who's been watching us. Thank you, Jonathan, for watching. And this is a still shot from, I don't know, it looks like Pacers and Bulls, probably Summer League.
Yeah, it was.
And they were showing the reaction of the guy getting dunked on, his face.
This was considered by many people to be the biggest, one of the worst posterized plays in NBA history, and it's in a summer league game. The reaction shot is exciting, dude. It was a good dunk, dude. It really was.
Jeez.
Can we pour one out? Can we pour a grito for Joy Taylor and Emmanuel Acho?
Why?
Keyshawn Johnson.
You want to give him the old man grito or the new
give
one?
him the old man grito because they are out at FS1, Joe.
Yeah. And why? Because the ratings. They're showing no good. Nobody watching them, man.
Well, who watches FS1?
Nobody.
Nobody watches FS1. And what are they going to do? The rumors are they're going to bring back Max Kellerman, who's no longer with ESPN, and they're going to have all these ESPN retreads, Tony Reali, and all that brought back to FS1, brought to FS1. The only person worth watching on FS1 is Colin Cowherd, and that's a radio show being done on TV.
Colin Cowherd is all right. I mean, he's
good. He's great.
He's watchable. He's listenable. They also syndicate the show, I believe, on the radio as well, because I remember hearing it on XM satellite radio. Same thing with Stephen A. But I don't listen to his radio show at all. I don't like listening to him. I don't care for him. Colin Cowherd's not that bad.
No, he's good, dude.
And then they also have was it the Dan Patrick show, and that one's all right. All right, so we'll go ahead and give him the old man.
Some of the old school ones like Rich Eisen and whatnot. Yeah. They become watchable because they've become more like new school Howard Stern, where it's just interviewing celebrities, interviewing athletes, and getting to know more about people. I don't mind it at all, man. But let's pour one out for Joy Taylor, Emmanuel Acho, and for Keyshawn Johnson and all of those who got the X over at FS1.
Presumir a mis amigos les conté que en el amor.
Oh, pouring one out for Joy Taylor. Tony Nala says that Joe's next wife is going to be Joy Taylor Garcia. I can see it.
Man, I
can see it.
I'm good, bro. She would annoy me, dude.
Tony Reali, according to Jonathan C, is good. He says, "Stop it, Mike. Stop it, Mike." Tony Reali was good on wasn't P. Well, first of all, he was on PTI, then he went to Around the Horn. But unless he's doing a game show, what is Tony Reali going to be doing, man? Because that's essentially what Around the Horn was. Emmanuel Acho, I thought was interesting on Twitter last night because he was saying that whenever someone gets, dumped from TV, they say watch the next step, or they do something very emotional where it's like optimistic, see what's going to happen next, or wait for my next chapter, or whatever the case may be. He was being really realistic about it by saying, I have no idea what's going to go on in my life. I'm not going to say watch my next chapter because I have no idea what my next chapter is going to be. I just know that it was a fun ride, and he ended it like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Same thing with Joy Taylor, dude. I don't know where she's going to wind up, what she's going to wind up doing. But more than likely, she'll probably either start her own live stream, her own podcast. And rightfully so. I mean, she has a following.
If I was ESPN, I'd knock on her door within minutes.
Why? They already got good. Molly.
She's good at what she does.
She's not. I'm not saying that she's bad at what she does, but given the reputation she has right at this point in time.
Which is a bullshit representation, dude. It's just a bunch of dudes talking, man. It is sexism run amok, dude.
There's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things that
allegations made that were never proven, and everyone's taking it as fact. It's sexism.
I think she should just do her own thing. Quite honestly, I mean, she has experience. She has a following. She can probably earn more money doing her own thing than getting on like a 4-letter network, like going back to ESPN or something.
But to compare to Molly Qerim is not the host of that show. Molly Qerim's a moderator.
She's a moderator, yeah.
Molly Qerim has absolutely no opinion about anything. She just calls balls and strikes. That's all that she does. She doesn't do anything other than she makes no takes. There's no take that Molly Qerim has ever made in the 10 years she's been doing that show. All she is just a moderator. Joy Taylor does a good job.
She's comfortable doing that. You know where I thought Joy Taylor was good at? When she was on the Colin Cowherd show. I thought they had a really good back and forth. I think Colin Cowherd should go ahead and call her back up and be like, hey, she come back over here.
Well, Colin Cowherd did that with Michelle Beadle too. There's certain people out there, certain female talents out there that are really good at what they do. I'll give you an example. Rachel Nichols. ESPN never should have gotten rid of Rachel Nichols.
Yeah.
Never in a million years. She's spectacular at what she does. Joy Taylor does a fantastic job. I think the idea is that we're stuck in the 1980s, 1990s where sports is only consumed by men. It's not, man. It's not.
Yeah.
You go to NFL games and 48% of the people there are women. You go to NBA games, there's a lot of women there. And there's a lot of need for a woman's voice in sports, but it becomes very sexist when it comes to, well, Joy Taylor is hot. Well, yes, she's very attractive, but that doesn't mean that that's the reason why she's good at what she does. She's good at what she does because she has pretty good takes. She has a pretty good sports mind, and I like watching Joy Taylor's show.
I
I
never
I
watched it. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch it.
I would say that show that she had with Keyshawn Johnson sucked. Okay, he sucked. But Joy Taylor and Emmanuel Acho, I thought were pretty good at what they did.
You know what? That might not be a bad thing, Mexican Junior. Quite honestly, he said Joy Taylor could probably make more doing the streaming podcast, kind of like the Pat McAfee show. Actually, it wouldn't be bad. What if Pat McAfee has her on there?
Well,
brought her on.
Pat McAfee, see, but then he goes on to say OnlyFans. See, that's what I'm talking about, dude. She's not going to be doing OnlyFans.
Yeah, no, I'm saying actually like Pat McAfee bringing her on and be like, hey, we're adding her to the fray. You know what I mean?
Well, see, but Pat McAfee was huge, but became even bigger by using the platform of ESPN. People think that TV is a dying platform. It's not a dying platform because they have the social media aspect of it all. You know, you look at my daughter working over at KSAT 12, right? When my daughter works at KSAT 12, do people watch the 10 o'clock news anymore? Not as
Yes.
much. I mean,
They
they
still watch
do
it.
when there's rain and all that stuff, but like the daily viewing of KSAT, Kens, and WOAI, they get their news out based on social media. They get their
Not,
news out based on all that.
not
Joy-
only that, but they also have their own podcast that they do as well on like
Right.
KSAT. Yeah.
Right. Joy Taylor has. I'm going to look up how many followers she has on TikTok.
I'm
How
sure
many do
it's
you
a
think?
lot. I'm sure it's a ton, probably a couple mil or something.
And because of that, she can go off into a different platform. But the fact of the matter is that she's really good at what she does.
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm
Rachel
saying.
Nichols is really good at what she does.
Maybe her and
Rachel
Rachel
Nichols-
Nichols should team up.
But Rachel Nichols, they don't have the platform to do it because the numbers that are there, you have to ask yourself the question, how many people are watching her because they like her sports takes and how many people are watching her because they think she's hot? You know, that's the problem with the numbers that you have there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to look up TikTok, right? Joy Taylor, right? Let's see what she's got here. Joy Taylor has not as many followers as I would have thought. 150,000.
Maybe she's bigger on Insta.
Oh, by far on Instagram.
I don't know because I don't follow her either way, you know.
Joy Taylor has 810,000 followers on Instagram. And I haven't been on her page in a while, but a lot of what she has is about working out. You know, she has workouts for this, you know, jump roping, lifting weights and stuff like that.
Oh, she
I
only
think
has,
I think Joy Taylor could transition into being something different.
yeah, she
you
thinks
could-
she has a 810K followers on Insta.
Joy Taylor could be like Good Morning America. Michael Strahan did that, right? Michael Strahan moved his way
Yeah.
over to Good Morning America. I think Joy Taylor could do that too.
Yeah. Oh, so we also have another photo that somebody was sharing with us here on the media share, which I'll show here. And it's one of our SAFC followers here. So they're sending a graphic here and showing USL Western Conference standings. And look at what they have at the very top.
Oh, I can't
San
even read that.
Antonio. San Antonio FC is number
One.
one, followed by Mexico, New Mexico United at number 2, and then FC Tulsa at number 3. So that in the USL Jägermeister Cup Group 2 standings, they have SAFC at the top, followed again by New Mexico United and then Phoenix Rising FC. So they wanted to
Very
share that
cool.
with us.
When's the next match for San Antonio FC?
It should
Do
be
we know?
coming up here. I know that they were saying that they were going to do some more good things. I know that they had a match that just happened this last weekend, and they were, I believe, raising funds or something for the flood victims. So good on them. You know, supporters groups are always doing good things out there for the community. So they do have another match coming up here. It's going to be, I want to say that one was on the 12th. I don't know where the next one is. It's going to be a home game.
Did you hear Elmo got hacked on Twitter?
Oh God, no. Oh, 26. They're saying Matt Gomez says 26 when they're going to have the next home game.
You know, all the Sesame Street characters have Twitter accounts. Elmo got hacked by somebody who went off. Just went off.
God.
I'm not going to read because some of it was really bad. But Elmo got hacked. I want to pour one out for our girl Angel Reese. Had one of the worst turnovers of all time yesterday. I don't know if you saw that video, but everyone was making fun of her. She was doing an inbound pass, and she passed it to somebody who wasn't there. And the
Checked
ball,
in a full moment.
the ball just dribbled to midcourt. Someone just took it and laid it up. There you go.
God.
Rafa saying July 26th against Mexico, New Mexico United, Joe.
Oh, there you go. New Mexico
Joe?
United. Okay.
Riley Minix got the winner last night for the Spurs last night, Joe. I'm just waiting for the season to start. See, it is July 15th. NBA season starts in about 3.5 months. Spurs still have a couple of spots to fill. Free agency there.
And you know what? Wemby got the green light, like we were talking about, to finally be able to go out there and practice. So he's able to go ahead and have full contact now. And I'm like, bro, you've been out there running, doing the Shaolin monk thing, out there playing soccer and stuff, and you couldn't play basketball?
Yeah.
Head scratcher, man.
Paul George had knee surgery for the 76ers. They're going to reevaluate him in September to see if he'll be ready for the start of the season as well. Brooke Lopez signed with the LA Clippers.
Yeah, that's not let's say a surprise there. He took less money, but I mean, he wants to be in LA. Guess he wants to contend, you know, because he wasn't able to do that over with the Bucks. But we also had this. Jeff Garcia just shared this not too long ago. Looks like Funko is releasing a new Spurs Victor Wembanyama bobblehead. So yet another thing that you can go and add to the Spurs collection there. I mean, the Funko Pops really aren't going to be worth money, I would think, because they're gonna mass produce these things. At the end of the day, you're getting it just because you want to add it there. You like it. You want to add it to your collection. Is it going to be worth anything? Probably not. You could probably get these at HEB, just like I got the little Wemby Funko Pop. Like, come on, man.
Now, reading about all the different things that people are doing. Selena Gomez is doing a fundraiser for the flood victims. So is P.F. Chang's La Cantera. See if you want to show the P.F. Chang's logo there. But P.F. Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast. Tomorrow, anyone who eats over at P.F. Chang's locations in San Antonio, Austin, or Waco, 100% of the profits go to the efforts over there in Kerrville. That's pretty amazing. We'll be doing something in a couple of weeks. Joe, I'll be in studio hopefully on Friday. I'm going to go from Conroe to San Antonio.
And then where are we eating afterwards, Mike? Because I'm excited because we never get to hang out after the show on Fridays. Oh, no, you froze again. Mike, you got to do something about that internet, brother. You got the frozen face again. Worth when it's signed.
She wants to go to a good...
You lost your audio, Mike. You might have to plug back. Oh, there you go. I can't hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying I've taken Chica to the taquerias of the world. You know, the Tacos Martinez, the Lupitas, even the Las Palapas, and I've taken her to the Taco Palenque. And she's like, no, I want to go to a good restaurant, Michael.
You know where we're gonna take her?
Where's that?
It's not a good restaurant. Laguna Madre, so you can go and order your burger.
Oh, dude, she would leave me on the spot. Like she says, the next time we go to San Antonio, we're doing nice things.
She wants to go somewhere nice. Maybe we take her to Sazone, dude.
That's not nice. I mean, it's
All
fine.
right.
It's just another taqueria. She's not down with the taquerias,
Where
dude.
does she want to go? What does she want to go eat?
She wants to go to a good restaurant, Joe.
What about Whiskey Cake?
That's a chain. There's a Whiskey Cake down the street over here.
P.F. Chang's?
That's a chain.
What does she want? Like Puro? Like or what?
She wants me to take her to someplace like the Pearl.
Oh.
Or someplace in Southtown.
La Perla. Nah, dude, I'm good with the Pearl, man. We gotta go somewhere, maybe depending on the weather.
So we're going drinking on Friday.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be able to join you right away because I'm gonna be at the WWE event with my oldest.
Yeah. Well, early I was thinking about going to Helotes first, but now I'm thinking about going someplace downtown. So, do you know where I'm thinking about going, Joe? I haven't been to Esquire in a while. I haven't been to 1919 in a while.
Yeah, or
Maybe hit up
1919.
the downtown Southtown area. Maybe go to Be Kind Rewind afterwards.
Maybe Jeff can join this time.
Hmm.
It's in
See,
his neck of the woods.
notice how I'm picking these places with Jeff Garcia in mind.
Yeah,
I hope he's listening.
he probably is. It'll get to him. Somebody's always in there. You know, Jeff has a lot of ears all over. As soon as you mention Jeff's name, Jeff, you know what they said about you? Here's the clip. Here, let me go. Let me show you. Let me show you. I'm like, bro, calm down. Calm down. You can go ahead and share the link.
Jusho's making fun of me because I didn't want to take Chica to PF Chang's. No, she likes PF Chang's a lot, dude. It's not that I don't want to take her to PF Chang's. She loves PF Chang's. Any place that has lettuce wraps like that and has the soup that she likes, that she loves edamame beans, dude. She ain't have no problem with PF Chang's. What she's saying though is that when she's coming to San Antonio, she wants to have an experience here. And by the way, doesn't want it to be taquerias.
Bill
She
Miller.
has no desire to go to the west side. I've taken her west side taquerias, I've taken her south side taquerias and all that stuff because it's puro in San Antonio. Now that she's experienced that, she goes, Michael, I've enjoyed it, all that stuff, but can you take me with someplace with class?
Bud Jones.
Bud Jones.
I'm gonna take you somewhere real nice. Joe recommended this place. Freaking Bud Jones. She's gonna say I'm out.
Yeah. You see, Jonathan C saying, I'll meet you for drinks. Bruno's Dive Bar. Okay, I don't mind meeting you for drinks, Jonathan C. You're a great guy, dude. You can hang with us. I'll hang with you.
Mexican Junior too.
But
He's
dive
wanting to hang
bar,
with
but
us.
dive bar is not it for that night. And she's not high maintenance, though, Joe. She's not high maintenance. She can get down at a karaoke bar. We've gone. Where did we go, Joe? We went to the Hidden Tavern, right?
The Hidden Tavern.
We've gone to Pete's place and drank
Oh,
outside.
look at right on cue.
We go to all these different places that are kind of you know, outdoorsy. Go get a beer, right? She wants on this particular weekend to do something nice where she can get dressed and look cute. Okay, she doesn't want to wear flip flops because my girl ain't a flip flops girl. Okay, my girl ain't wearing a jersey. She ain't wearing flip flops. She ain't doing that. She likes to get dressed up. Joe, you know that, Joe. You've met her. She likes. What's her favorite color? She says, glitter.
Yeah.
Right. She wants to go out. Dude, there's a Luby's right here in Conroe. She will not step foot in it.
Take her to Luby's. Oh.
I'm telling you, dude, Joe, there's some people who don't want to go taquerias, Joe. That ain't it for her. That ain't it.
Oh, would you take her to a taqueria? She's gonna say, "Oh."
Well, I took her to El Guacamole the other day, right? We were in San Antonio a week ago. We went to El Guacamole there on 90 and Montgomery Road. Good place. She enjoyed it. She goes, Michael, this is a really good lunch. This is really good food. Do me a favor. Don't take me to the taqueria ever again.
Oh my God.
Or maybe not ever again. I think she was just
Where do you take her? She doesn't want to go to
the Pearl. She wants to go to the Pearl. She wants to go to Soluna. She wants to go to Biga on the Banks.
What about La Gloria? La Gloria?
No, that's that's just a fancy taqueria. She doesn't want to go. I took her to Los Barrios.
Better not take her to Landry's Inn at the tower. Dude.
I took her to La Margarita and what's it called? Market Square.
Which one? It's not La Margarita. They have La Margarita, and then they have the other one.
Yeah.
That I go to.
Mi Tierra.
Mi Tierra, yeah.
Yeah, I've taken her there. Mexican Junior saying Fogo de Chao. That's a chain. She wants an experience. And she doesn't want an experience with a fly on the wall going.
What about Fogo de Chao or whatever that Brazilian?
Fogo de Chao, that's a chain. There's like 100 of them.
Well, you know what we can take her.
El Chaparral and Bernie. I took her to El Chaparral and Helotes.
I'll tell her I got the perfect spot for you. That's not like a national chain.
Take her to Little Red Barn. That was the last place I took her. I took her to Little Red Barn on Father's Day. We had Father's Day at Little Red Barn. I've taken her there. Everyone's joking about El Chaparral. I took her to El Chaparral. She does not want to do Burger Boy.
Yeah, Burger Boy. I got the perfect spot for her, Mike. I'll tell her I'm going to take you to the Jewel of Marbach, and that's going to be China Rose.
Dude, China Rose. Joe, you hyped that place up, man.
It's good. It's good Chinese hood food, man.
I'll take Ding Hao over China Rose all day, every day.
China Rose is good, bro.
Do you want your Chinese food with MSG or a lot of MSG? That's what it felt like over there.
That Chinese food is good. It's good hood food, man.
Okay, yeah, she ain't doing hood food this week.
No.
So I take her someplace else. That's why I'm thinking about 1919 or Esquire.
But 1919 don't have food.
Well, no, but you go get some food someplace in Southtown or downtown, or you go to the Pearl, have dinner over there, then make your way over, dude. That's it.
I'm trying to think of. There's other places that they have here in town that are good experiences that are near like the downtown area. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
Chachos.
Dude, if I took her to Chachos, she'd leave me.
She'll be mad. Bye. I can already hear her. Bye. Michael, I'm leaving. I can hear her.
Hey, man, you know, don't get me wrong. I have dated and been married to people who are very, very laid back and don't want to do nice things. Chica's 50-50. Half the time, she wants to just chill out. She wants to wear her Lululemon and just chill out and go someplace and relax, get a couple of drinks, be outdoorsy. The other half of the time, she wants to get dressed up. Nothing wrong with that, dude. But I'll be back in town. We're gonna go out. We're gonna go Friday, man. Friday night. I'll post it on the. I'll tell everyone we're going here on Friday, and if y'all want to go, just hang out. Just swing on by.
And look, Jeff said that he was here. He was here in the chat.
He was listening.
He says, "I'm here." Yeah, I'm listening.
Chica made a mistake of putting a bed in my office. This thing goes down into a bed.
You gonna take a little nap?
Take a little nap and then record Locked On Spurs tonight. I'll be on with the Sith on Plead the Sith tonight at 7:30.
Oh, we got an incoming super chat here from the Drew Show. Thanks, Drew. He says, "I like Italian." He goes, "I went to battalions." He says, "Had good results on a date night in SA." There you go, man.
Nice.
Hey, but you know what? You're going to be like that.
From
the Conroe. He's from Conroe. Not
from
Conroe. The Woodlands. The Woodlands.
Yeah, which is literally down the street from me.
I was gonna say you could go ahead and put that bed, and you could put it underneath your desk, like George Costanza did from Seinfeld. You know,
yes,
sleeping on the job. All right, man. We have to call this one, Mike.
All right, brother. Be out again. Locked On Spurs. I'll be on tomorrow, I believe. So thank you for all the super chats, everybody. Go visit PF Chang's tomorrow. Again, they're raising money for the victims there in Kerrville. This is the Area 210 podcast. We'll be back tomorrow. And Ron Harper, afraid of you, brother. I'm afraid of you, man. But I still call your son my son, at least for a little bit longer, man. We'll be back tomorrow.
All right. See you, boys. Peace.